Today I reflect on how grateful I am to that I made myself the promise to lean in. I mentioned yesterday in my conversation about relationships that in the past I would withdraw even if I was physically present. I just emotionally leave. And also what I would do is I would literally like not contact. I would assume that this other person needed space where really it was me running away. And I made a promise to both my union, my partner, and myself that if I felt confronted by something, I would reach out, not pull away. I would lean into at least clarify everything, even if it's I need space. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't leaving things to turn into a big oak forest. I wanted to make sure that if it was an acorn, it was an acorn. If it was bigger than an acorn, let's talk about the size of it. So that took a lot of like literally making myself open my mouth and like almost like being like a ventriloquist where I was like literally forcing my jaw to move up and down to say the words. That's how much I wanted to avoid an uncomfortable not even confrontation and not even collision, discussion. I didn't even want to like say the bad stuff. I would have hoped that it would go away on its own. I'd think, oh, it'll work itself out, and that's never how those things go. They need an active participation by both parties. And so, I found myself in an interesting place today where I wanted to connect, my partner didn't. And we both have legitimate needs. And I didn't really know where to sit with that. And it did resolve itself, but it left me in a place of, with a choice of, are you going to lean in or are you going to just like let yourself not be defeated, but not be vulnerable? That's really what it's about. It's about, are you willing to take the risk to the next stage in your relationship, whatever that is? And there is always a risk. Even the most secure relationships, when it comes to being honest, there's a risk in being honest. Now, I think it's a worthwhile risk, but it's a risk nonetheless. So I guess what I ask you today, I asked you to contemplate and think about is in your relationship, in your primary relationship, do you lean in even when it's really uncomfortable? And I'm telling you, it just takes literal practice of like stepping on the uncomfortable stones. Um, and, the other half of that question is is your relationship advancing or is it stagnant? Is it moving to a different place? Sometimes even if that place is apart, rather than just staying still and complacent. Those are two questions that I think are so vital in our primary relationship because I believe that a relationship is always unfolding. We are growing and changing individually, and that grows and changes our union, ideally. But it's going to alter the union one way or the other. So that's what I invite you to contemplate today, and I will see you tomorrow.